Well, more Nigerians are being told to defend themselves against these attacks. We've seen some of the security agencies being overstretched, and, the communities have to take matters into their own hands. Would you say that them defending themselves might lead to more chaos, or this is just a way to go?
Honestly speaking, defending themselves would not bring more chaos. Defending themselves, communities now who are under threat, defend themselves is a smart way to do. However, it has to be a measured level of self-defense. I'm sorry to say, Nigeria is not right to have Nigerians having their own arms. I'm sorry to say that, because a lot of people are going to abuse those arms. Nigeria is not highly learned or exposed to ask Nigerians to bear their own arms. I'm sorry to say we are not in that mindset yet because of the level of illiteracy, because of the level of what we call in the local parlance, gara gara. If you allow Nigerians to start bearing their own arms, you see people that will senselessly kill their friends or shoot their relatives that are dead because of local politics or because of local conflicts. So in that way, I would not support any idea or any calls for Nigerians to bear their own arms because of level of exposure and illiteracy. On the other side, I believe that communities, vigilantes, local leaders, kings, governors should organize a relative level of response for self-defense for communities. And there are always ways to do that. The bottom line is most of the governors rely so much on the police, the army, the navy, the DSS, the Air Force. Look at the numbers of the military we have in Nigeria. If you add the police, the army, the Air Force, the navy, the custom, immigration, the DSS, the civil defense, all of them, they're not up to 1 million. All of them cumulatively are not up to 1 million in number. So,
Vince, we have a challenge with Vince Network. Yeah. The other time we're talking about this security threat we have, and as Vince was talking, I was just thinking that is it not possible for us to have a system where local vigilantes are licensed, profiled, and registered by governments, and allowed to carry some level of arms, so that they can protect their various communities? Now, we're not throwing it open to everybody, but if you've set a vigilante in every community, have them profiled, there should be enough money. You have security votes that you can take care of them.
Well, first, I think it has to begin with political will, because like you see, he mentioned that there's a lack of political will there. A lot of people are talking about the adoption of state police, but it's even surprising that even the governors, in the governors forum, they are not even discussing this matter, which I think should be something to
the last count, they endorsed state police. The last count.
Well, we are not really seeing any real action being taken in that regard as it stands now. They might have said it by word of mouth, but we have not really seen any real action in that regard. But I just think that, all options at this point should be taken, because the matter seems to now be getting out of hand. We're beginning to record, scores of attacks in different areas, most especially in the north. We saw when the government came out to say, oh, we're overcoming Boko Haram, we have a hold on this security challenge, but all of a sudden it has resurfaced again. So is it that we're rejoicing over the issue too early, and maybe security agencies have relaxed a bit, or they just have to be more strategic and firm on their response to the challenge?
Okay, Vince is back. Now, Vince, can you just continue with your line of thoughts before we had that temporary break?
Yeah. So basically, I support the idea of governors of states, the cultural or traditional kings, to come together to find solutions. And these solutions, we are all smart people, we are all Africans. They are covert solutions. So state governors can overtly, meaning openly, work with the federal.
Okay.
Mr. Vince. All right.
Yeah, so having this challenge, because every now and then we hear government talk about overhaul the security architecture, and I begin to wonder, what do you mean overhaul the security architecture?
When you say overhaul security, we see different security meetings. Even the National Assembly has several points, has called these security agencies, okay, come sit down. What is the challenge? I still want to know what is being discussed behind those closed doors and how they are being implemented.
And probably we're not holding some persons responsible.
Exactly, because if you say these service chiefs, you know, when they came in with so much, you know, enthusiasm and, you know, willpower, but you know, all these things just seems to play out, and then the problem still persists. In fact, it even grows more. We see a lot of monies being allocated to, you know, fighting insecurity and defense, but the problem just keeps getting bigger. The question now is, okay, so what solution? Who is going to take up the responsibility, you know, to take charge of this situation and bring, you know, lasting peace to the people?
Some persons are actually talking about the economy of fighting insecurity. People are making so much money all in the name of fighting insecurity, and that's one area government must also change. I
think the lives of the people should be priority at this point, because if everybody, or if the people are attacked and there's no more lives for you to even govern, I think the lives of the people should matter, should be a priority ahead of any political interest or, you know, personal interest of whatever sort. Well, Mr. Onyekwe, do we have you online now?
Hi.
Okay.
I'm still here. It's just a different network. I'm still here.
All right. Okay. So you can continue.
So there are overt options for states to implement, and there are overt options. So the overt means the open options, whereas the covert means the closed options. So state governors can have overt discussions with the federal government how to support them, but within them, they can also implement their own state options that you don't need to disclose to the federal government, because in African proverbs, we say that you have to be aware that the walls have ears. When you're trying to fight this kind of terror, this banditry, you need to learn how to close your mouth. You don't actually open all your strategies to both the state partners and the federal partners, because you don't know. We say that when dogs are lying down, you don't know which of the dog is pregnant, because they all look normal. So I will encourage state governors to implement their own open lines of discussions, strategies with the federal government, and also create their own internal covert strategies and discussions with their people on how to protect themselves. The state governors should be aware that these criminals know their locations very well. I am sure that they have wonderful maps that links Gombe into Bauchi, from Bauchi into Nasarawa, from Nasarawa top there, Kaduna, from Nasarawa down there into Plateau, from Plateau into Nasarawa, down to Kogi and into Benue. These maps are easily available for these criminals to get these maps. They know when to bounce back into neighboring states where they have their camps, where they have protection. And it's very sad to say that if the state governors across Nigeria come together to solve this problem, they will solve it. But most of the state governors play politics because of political affiliation, because of some senseless human wealth requirements. They decide to allow these things to happen. If you look at the geography of Plateau State and Benue State, who are their common neighbors? Benue State, for example, Anambra State is a common neighbor. Ebonyi State is also a common neighbor. And I can cross my heart for you that these attacks are not coming from Anambra State or from Ebonyi State. On the other side, Nasarawa State is a common neighbor of Benue State. Kogi State is a common neighbor state to Benue. I'm not saying that these attacks might come there. It's just for us to have an empirical discussion. The same thing with Plateau State. Up there you have Gumbo State. Then you have Nasarawa State. and then you have Kaduna State. Now, strategically, behind Kaduna State and behind Kogi State and Nasarawa State, we have the FCT and then the almighty Niger State that you are talking about, the governor having the wrong priorities of talking about dreadlocks. I don't know if they've caught any criminal on dreadlocks. I'm talking about terrorism or banditry. And that is misplaced priority, as one of you said. So in all this, it is a shame that state governors, I'm not saying they are part of this, but they are not willing, they are not committed to support the states that are targeted. And in conclusion, your state may not be a target today. You think you're safe in your state. You're not Plateau State or Benue State of today. You don't know who's going to be the next target tomorrow. Because these guys are on a mission. There are records that are not Nigerians. They speak foreign languages. So if you're safe today, you may not be safe tomorrow. So it's better we all come together, put our hands together to support Benue State and Plateau State. Thank you.